Hello, dear students. I hope you're all safe and healthy. So this BPT is just a brief summary of some of the electrochemistry topic that we have to cover up before your exams. So you may go to the detailed notes later and just go through each PPT slides. So I remember last time we already have discussed about the liquid junction potential and the ways to minimize liquid junction potential. But once again, let me give you a brief idea about liquid junction potential. So here you can see two cells, that is two solutions of HCl acid at different concentrations, where A1 and A2 are the different activities of HCl and HCl. In this cell, the more concentrated solution will tend to diffuse into the dilute one, and the rate of diffusion of this each ion will be proportional to its velocity in the electric field. Suppose if the cation have the higher velocity, it will move ahead of anions, and vice versa. And ultimately what will happen, it will develop a double layer there, and a corresponding potential will be arised. That means two solutions of same or different electrolytes are brought in contact. A potential difference will be developed at the junction of that two solutions, and which will be due to the ionic transfer. And this arised potential difference is known as liquid junction potential. You may refer the EMF of the cell with respect to cation and anion, and that equations will be in the notes. I don't think I can explain via PPT by putting all these derivations. It's just two simple examples. You can go to the notes for the detailed derivation. Okay, next is, what are the methods to minimize liquid junction potential? There are 2-3 different methods. The first one is to use a salt bridge. You know what is salt bridge? It is usually a system consists of saturated solution of KCl, which is kept in between the two solutions of a cell. And what will happen? What is the theory behind that salt bridge? And it is that the large amount of ions present in the salt, especially KCl, will carry almost all the current which will produced across the junction or the boundary. And you know, this is applicable only if the electrolyte on both sides are same. So that what will happen, if these ions are the same, the two ions will have almost the same conductance, and then the liquid junction potential will be very minimum. And you know, there are two more other functions of the salt bridge. The first one, it can be used to complete the electrical circuit between the two compartments or two cell compartments. And the second one is, you know, during the cell reaction, there are chances for the ions to be consumed, or the excess ions can be produced. Anyway, if you use a salt bridge, it will provide any ions like cations or anions to replace the ions which is consumed in the reaction, or if you want to compensate the ions which is produced during the cell reaction. And the second method, which was suggested by Nernst, is the addition of an indifferent electrolyte at same concentration on both sides of the cell. So what will happen? The addition of added substance is greater than that of any other electrolyte, then what will happen? The former will carry most of the current across the junction. So since the concentration is same on both sides, the liquid junction potential will be small. Since we are adding this the indifferent electrolyte at same concentration both sides, what will happen? Most of the ions will have the same concentration, and the liquid junction potential produced will be very small. Another method is to develop a cell which consists of a series of cells containing different electrolytes at different concentrations. So due to this setup, what will happen is, which will result in an EMF which is extrapolated to a zero concentration of the added substance. Here few slides which consists of the relation between the thermodynamic properties and EMF. Thermodynamic properties like temperature, entropy, enthalpy, and free energy, etc., are in connection with the EMF of a cell. Okay. So among that, the first one is the relation between EMF and free energy. And we know that delta G, what is free energy? Delta G is equal to minus NFE, 0. And you have to differentiate that delta G with respect to temperature at a constant pressure. That is the only thing you have to keep in mind. The first one is you have to differentiate with respect to temperature and constant pressure. So differential of this delta G, d delta G by dt at a constant pressure is equal to minus of NF into E can be written in terms of dou E by dou T at a constant pressure. That means dou E by dou T means differential with respect to temperature at a constant pressure. Here, this dou E by dou T is called temperature coefficient of EMF. Okay, next is the relation between EMF and enthalpy. So you have to take an equation which consists of the enthalpy term. That is Gibbs-Helmholtz equation delta G is equal to delta H plus T into d delta G by dt at constant pressure. But from the previous relation, we have seen that this d delta G by dt at a constant pressure is equal to minus nf dou E by dou T at P. So we are simply substituting that over here, and instead of delta G, we are substituting minus NFE. So after the substitution, we will get minus NFE is equal to delta H plus T into, instead of this, we will substitute minus NF dou E by dou T at P. And we will take this delta H out. Delta H is equal to minus NFE plus, we will take all these terms this side. So plus NF T into dou E by dou T at a constant pressure. Next one is relation between EMF and entropy. Here again we have to find an equation which consists of an entropy term delta S. So we can write delta G both in terms of thermodynamic point of view and another one in terms of free energy. That is the relation we get from EMF. So we can write both of these equations, delta G is equal to delta H minus T into delta S, and again another relation delta G is equal to delta H plus T into d delta G by dou T at P. And this relation we have got from the previous derivation. So combining these two delta G, that means one is equal to another one, that is delta H minus T into delta S is equal to delta H plus T into dG by dt at P. And from that we just subtract delta S is equal to d delta G by dt at P. And from that delta S is equal to d delta G by dou T at P. That is the relation we have got from the previous slide. We can substitute that here. D delta G by dt is equal to NF dou E by dou T at P. And the fourth one is relation between EMF and equilibrium constant. Equilibrium constant is Lnk. So if you want to connect your EMF with equilibrium constant, then you have to find a thermodynamic relation which consists of Lnk. So for that we will take one of isotherm equation. Delta G is equal to delta G0 is equal to minus of RT Lnk, and we know that delta G, what is delta G0? Minus NFE, and for this G0 it is E0. So minus NFE0 is equal to minus RT Lnk, and the Lnk is equal to NFE0 by RT. That is another relation. And the fifth one is the connection between EMF and activity. So if you want to get the activity of certain ions in a reaction, we have to consider a reversible reaction. Suppose A plus B is equal to C plus D. Here, what will be the free energy of that particular reaction? Delta G is equal to delta G0 plus RT ln pi into activity of the product. That means activity of C and D divided by activity of the reactant. So we can substitute the EMF relation of free energy, that is minus NFE is equal to what will be delta G0 minus NFE0 plus RT ln pi into activity of the product divided by activity of the reactant, where delta G and delta G0 are in terms of EMF that I already explained. And what will be the general E cell reaction is equal to E0 cell minus RT by NF into ln pi into activity of the product divided by activity of the reactant. And this is the general Nernst equation. Okay, so consider another reaction here, and the general Nernst equation for this reaction is equal to E0 minus NF by RT into ln of activity of EM divided by activity of EM plus. That is the reduced species. So E is equal to E0 plus RT by NF into ln into activity of the oxidized species divided by activity of the reduced species. This equation is a general equation for the electrode reaction. And you know that when we take electrodes, especially metal electrodes, it will lose electrons, which results in both oxidation and reduction in the cell to happen. So we can use this equation E is equal to 0 plus RT by NF into activity of oxidized species by reduced species can be used as E cell reaction of an electrode.